In the global fight against climate change, there's a new, multi-trillion-dollar market that's emerged, and it's built on something you can't even see. In this explainer, we're going to uncover exactly how this global carbon market works, and more importantly, why India is in a unique position to lead the incredible green revolution it represents.
You know, for centuries, we created value by pulling things out of the ground. Gold, oil, you name it. But now we're in the middle of this historic shift. The next great global commodity isn't being dug up. It's being pulled straight out of the air. And this simple idea that cleaning up our atmosphere has real, tangible monetary value, well, that's the engine driving this whole new green economy.
You see tech giants like Microsoft and Google pouring billions of dollars into this new carbon currency. So what are they actually buying? What is this stuff? To get our heads around that, we first have to understand the fundamental asset at the heart of it all.
Okay, so at its core, the idea is surprisingly simple. A single carbon credit is basically a certificate you can buy and sell. And that certificate is proof that 1 ton of carbon dioxide has either been removed from the atmosphere or stopped from getting there in the first place. Think of it like a verifiable receipt for making the planet a little bit cleaner.
So let me give you an easy way to picture how this works. Let's call it the pollution voucher analogy. Imagine every big company gets a certain number of these vouchers for the year. Now, if one company does a great job and pollutes less, they have leftover vouchers they can sell. But another company that pollutes too much, well, they have to go out and buy those extra vouchers to stay within the rules. And just like that, you've created a really powerful financial reason to pollute less.
Right. So this trading of vouchers doesn't just happen in some random, chaotic way. It all takes place in a structured marketplace. And to really see how a green project becomes a valuable financial asset, we need to look at the 2 different kinds of markets and then follow the journey of one single credit from its creation all the way to its sale.
The carbon world is basically split into 2 arenas. First, you have the compliance market. Think of this as the official school rules. Government sets strict legal limits on pollution, and companies have to comply. But the real explosion, the place where all the crazy growth is happening, is in the voluntary market. This is more like an extracurricular club where companies choose to buy credits to hit their own ambitious climate goals.
A credible carbon credit isn't just created out of thin air. It has to go on this really rigorous journey. It all starts with a real-world project, like a new solar park or a reforestation effort. But here's the most important part, the audit. An independent agency, like the global standard setter Verra, has to come in and verify that the carbon reduction is real, it's measurable, and it's permanent. Only after it gets that stamp of approval is a credit actually issued and registered, finally ready to be sold.
So we have this rapidly expanding global market. And this is where the story pivots and becomes incredibly exciting for India. Because right now, India finds itself at the very center of a massive opportunity. And this isn't just an environmental story. For India, this is about a potential green gold rush. So you might be wondering, what gives India this special edge? Well, it really comes down to 4 key things. First, India's already a renewable energy powerhouse. Our huge solar and wind projects are basically carbon credit generating factories. Second is our massive potential for nature-based solutions. Things like reforesting land or improving how we farm can soak up huge amounts of carbon. And third, India has a big cost advantage, which means we can generate these high-quality credits at a price that's really attractive to buyers around the world. And the fourth factor? This isn't just happening by chance. There's strong policy support pushing it forward. The government's ambitious Pantram climate targets, along with the plan to create India's own national carbon market, are creating this powerful tailwind. It's a clear signal to the rest of the world that India is all in on this. But for all of its incredible potential, let's be real. This market isn't a perfect silver bullet. It's new, it's still evolving, and it faces some very valid criticisms that are really important to understand if we want to get the full picture.
The 2 biggest hurdles you'll hear about are greenwashing and quality control. The greenwashing charge is basically the fear that some companies might just buy up cheap, low-quality credits to make themselves look good on paper, without actually making the hard changes to their own pollution. And that leads right into the quality control challenge. How can you guarantee that every single credit actually represents 1 ton of CO2 being permanently removed? It's a complex problem, and the industry is working hard to solve it with better tech and much stricter standards.
So even with these very real challenges,
The core takeaway for India is still incredibly powerful. This whole market presents what you could call a twin opportunity. It's a chance to attract massive foreign investment, to create a whole new generation of green jobs, and to fuel sustainable development, all while taking a real leadership role in the global fight against climate change. It's good for the planet, and it's great for business.
And all of this leaves us with one final thought. The potential is undeniable, whether it comes from solar farms or massive reforestation projects. So, the big question is, what type of green project do you think holds the most promise for India's future in this enormous emerging market? It's definitely something to think about as we watch this incredible story unfold.